We're happy to be here again in Baker. I think we were here a couple months ago. We were doing some vaccine drive, and we have Commissioner Corcoran here, Department of Education, Sherry Rollerson, the superintendent here, Thomas Hill, the principal. We have Representatives Cord Bird and Chuck Brannon are also here with us today. And last summer, we really felt strongly that every parent in Florida needed to have the ability to send their child to school in person. And so Commissioner Corcoran and I worked very hard. We also worked with many of the superintendents. And if you remember, now everyone says the kids should be in school. That was not the case then, okay? People were fear-mongering. Media in particular was fear-mongering. Some of these idiot experts were saying it was dangerous for kids without any data, without any evidence. And in fact, the evidence and the data was very clear by the end of last spring in places like Europe, where they had kids in school face to face. And so we really believed that we had to cut through all the storms and all the nonsense and stand with our parents and stand with our students. We wouldn't have been able to do that if we didn't have a lot of folks like the superintendent and like all these teachers in Florida who wanted to get the kids back in school because they knew how important it was. In fact, I remember talking with Sherry. They were one of the first districts to open I think it was early August, right? Yes. Early August. And normally it's not all of our districts normally open then. So this was one of the first ones. I think they sent one of the corporate media outlets sent some reporter down. They were trying to make fun of Baker, like, oh, these yokels are having kids go in school. How crazy are these people, right? The crazy people are the ones that are vaccinated, still wearing 6 masks in New York City. I mean, to be honest with you. So we felt that this was important. Sherry felt that it was important, and I remember on day one at Baker County, you had and we gave the parents the option. We said, look, if you want to opt for virtual, remote, that's fine, but the schools need to be open, and we want to give options for everybody to be able to do it. And on day one in Baker County, you had over 90%, 94% of the kids were in person, face to face on day one in Baker County. And so that's pretty incredible. And so we look, and even to this day, you have enclaves in our country where parents do not have the right or the ability to send their kids to school in person. This is the last day of school in Baker County, 180 days face to face. They've done it. They did basically a normal school year, and it was successful. And yet you have places throughout this country where they still have the doors shut on families, and these are mostly more lower middle income families. The wealthy people who close schools send their kids to face, usually in private schools. You see it all the time. Just like some of these politicians that lock down their states or their cities, they all end up in Florida enjoying us. They criticize Florida, then they end up getting their rumps down here for some R&R somehow. It's very strange that happens. So I think that what we did, I've told a bunch of folks, superintendents and teachers throughout the state, but I think people who have been, how long have you been in education? 35 years. And so of all the times you've been in education, and we have people with a lot of experience, I'm not sure you could make more of a difference than this year under the circumstances. And had we closed the schoolhouse doors, had we not let the kids in, the damage that would have done, you could be the best teacher in the world, the best principal in the world, the best superintendent in the world. I don't think we would have been able to recover from that. And you're going to see lasting damage in other parts of the country for people who didn't do the right thing. And so before COVID, we believed it was really important to support our classroom teachers. The budget I signed during COVID, a lot of people forgot about it because it was all within the context of COVID being front and center on everything. But we had last year in 2020, one of our main initiatives was to increase the average minimum salary for school teachers in the state of Florida. We were in the bottom half of states. We wanted to get up closer to the top. And the result of that was $500 million dedicated to that. different school districts. Different school districts are different places based on cost of living, but in Baker County, that has ended up, what was the increase, like $6,000? Just under $6,000 for increasing the average minimum salary. So we think that that's really important, especially as we look to get good college graduates and recruit people to be able to come and do this. So we did that. We were able to do it again this year in the budget that I'm going to sign very shortly, and we actually got even more money for that. And so it was a good approach the way the legislature did it. We said this average minimum is important because it really incentivizes a broader pool of people to consider going into this. But we also said once you hit a certain average minimum salary, the rest of the money, can go to some of the more experienced teachers. So you did get increases there. And so we're really, really proud of doing that, and we think that that's a really good approach. And the fact that we were able to sign that during COVID with all the challenges we had, it would have been very easy to veto it and say, you know what, next year we'll try. We just, we have too much going on. It's going to be hard. Maybe we can't afford it. We decided we'd make it work. We did it, and it worked, and then now we're back again, doubling down on it, which is really, really good. And so we're proud of that. That was before COVID. That was just something that we think is important for education in Florida. But given how Florida responded to this, given how we had schools open, how, it would bother me because I talked to folks, like Sherry, and I talked to other teachers, and they were saying, we need to get the kids back. I mean, these kids are not, the virtual is not working. We got to get them back. But, you had a lot of these unions, particularly in other part of the country, they wanted no school. I mean, that's what they were pushing for. But the superintendents in Florida, the principals, the teachers, overwhelmingly wanted to get back, wanted to give the kids the ability to learn face-to-face because they understood how important it was. And so because of that, I asked the legislature to step up to the plate, recognize a job well done, and authorize bonuses of $1,000 for every principal and classroom teacher throughout the state of Florida for school districts and for public charter schools. And I'm happy to report they answered the call. They supported our bonus initiative. And so when we sign the budget coming up very shortly, we will have in law additional, and apart from the money for pay that we're doing anyways, an additional increase of $1,000 for bonuses for all principals and for classroom teachers. And so that's a really good thing.